Hmm. I just installed an update, and now the fans are kicked on. I wonder if this is gonna get like real hot and stuff. Just couldn't figure out a title for this. Hmm. Well, this is. I remember when they took the Bible out of school because they said it wasn't historical. Balaam's fourth prophecy, so he took his oracle and said, I was just like, when I was waiting for my computer update, I was thumbing through and there's a Manasseh. He did evil in the sight of the Lord. And there's a thing, somebody, soothsayers, fortune tellers. Wait, crypto mining, trying to break all my passwords. It's like people just can't come ask. You know, my dad has a story of when his younger brother was losing his mind, and he would show up because and he'd put his hand out trying to get $20 for gas. I mean, there's speculation. My dad's speculations. Midlife crisis, just whatever. Whatever. When you have that person who just needs money. I don't know. Is this like? There are people who just. I guess the last recession. I guess people just. Recessions when your neighbor loses his job. Depression's when you lose yours. Do you think I'm in the government? I've worked for a government. Yeah, governments have killed more people in history than. What did I name this stream? I don't even got my dashboard up. Oh, hanging out. So I was going to talk about Game of Thrones. I was sitting out on the gazebo looking at the. Oh, money brings purity. Oh, there's so many nice cars. I just watch people drive up and down, and I'm like, what do you do for work? They're expensive. So I sit there and I'm like, what do you do for work? Funny story. When I guess maybe it's the unkempt look and stuff. But when I 3 years ago, 3 years ago, yeah. Well, longer than that. Back in 2001, late part of 2001, where the people walked up to me in a rental car, and they walk up and just, why is gas so expensive? Well, expensive is relative. Expensive to you. Some people, look at the size of those things. They take pride. Yeah, they just can't cope anymore. Apparently, education has gotten, oh, remember we were there to build schools? Remember we were there to build schools? I come back here and it's just, oh, this is like Afghanistan before Afghanistan's collapse. This is absolutely where I'm living. Is living in Afghanistan still. Illiterate children, violent. Well, that's why we had that's why we had uniforms. To send people out to be violent in a place that's designated for people to be violent, not on base. Well, unless the base has been overrun, then you got a problem. See, I use my my name as it appears on my documents. There's a thing, people are posting hate, remember? People anonymous, people just hate. So I had this account before I even knew how to stream on YouTube. I had this account. Yeah, I had this account. So I associate it with what henpecking means. Let's see, is it in this dictionary? Move off this pile. I'm in a religious war. You know, it's like, I'm in a religious war. What religion? It doesn't matter. If you got if you got a harem, a bunch of wives and children, and you need to enslave the single men, you don't have to spend time with them. I haven't been invited to anything family. I'm from my own family. Go back to work. I've been on vacation. I haven't been on family vacation. I haven't been on a family vacation. And I feel good. My dad has passed away. My brother's taken care of by the state hospital facility. The other brother, he's, you know, kind of like this. He got an office job. So, we're grown men. But I have no family. I was going to talk about the Game of Thrones. You play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. Be careful walking across the street. They might think you're on a chessboard and kill you without you even knowing. All is a random. It's always a random isolate. We live in a complete schizophrenic because everything's reported as isolated incident. Random. No. No, it's not. Your boss isn't having any money to pay you, so he's gonna put a gun to your head, right? Is that the feeling? Yo, little blip. There was a thing where they had like people being killed on Facebook Live. I remember because I didn't know about the Strangenberry sensitive about what I post and things, and so I go off the nut end. Just because that's the open forum. That's the Facebook replaced email. Facebook replaced email. So I was communicating. See, I have a lot of friends on there, or friends and family. Well, it doesn't really. I mean, there was a time when we started doing associations. Biscuit. Yeah. Well, I guess that's why the sense of betrayal. Oh, it was just. Well, I had a high-paying job with goals that other people have. My high-paying job afforded me a better. What was that high-paying job? So apparently, everything in our society is based on violence or war. Oh, even then, I didn't have license to kill anyone. See, I've morally justified over the years, and I think it's all in defense of sex tourism. It's all in defense of sex tourism. So now, whenever they talk about the border, isn't that one way to get a bunch of slaves? Like, hey, and then when they build a wall and they try to leave, but their families on the other side, they're the enemy. You're standing on the sides and they're lobbing bombs and stuff over your start lobbing bombs and blowing up the city with your relatives in it. Yeah, I really think that what we've come to identify through mass media. Where did I read it? It was this little brief thing about the Latter-day Saints, and they wanted a bunch of them the urbanization of Salt Lake City as it got more, well, packed with people. People moved to suburbs. They moved out of the city to live in suburbs with more space, and like, I guess it was. Siskiyou County Assessor Reporter. Mm-hmm. Oh. New mailing address. Oh, tax bill. Property tax. When my dad grew up, public schools, and public schools were funded by property taxes. And Maria is telling me about this because they removed property taxes. Anyway, really cut funding for the school districts. So he was upset about that. A lot of property taxes now. Don't seem like much. I'll tell you. There was a windstorm. It knocked down 2 trees, 2 big ones, and one took out like a light pole, telephone pole. Still call them telephone poles because we're at the telegram wires now. It's power cables and it's a tree fell. And so there's an emergency power crew out here. I wonder who the longest living families are out here. Well, once it's a sewage and water and electricity. That's what makes your city inhabitable. I mean, would you move to a place that didn't have any of that and just build it yourself? Well, I guess if you did, you're a municipality. Now people want to come get people to work for free. Yeah, I was looking. Oh, where is it? I was into a quick calculation here. Okay, let's see. So I remember when I was getting ready to go, and I had spending money. I was in like a school. I got paid to go to school, and wow, guys, it was very impressive. Our paychecks compared to it wasn't $1 million. No, I don't know even hearing. It wasn't even high 6 figures. It was I don't think, did I get over? See, I make zero now. I make zero. But once I made $124,000 a year. And the waitresses is really cute, like the kind that guys like, and well, they make $12,000. I talked to this girl named Heather. She made $12,000 a year. And that was over in like a place where there's lots of contractors, people like me with like money to spend. $12,000 a year as a waitress. Here it's $7,800. So it's even less because we don't have a big military base with guys going out partying every paycheck. Oh, to be around all those young military people when they get their bi-monthly paycheck. I think it's every 2 weeks. It was every 2 weeks. Well, some people used to do twice a month, and then it's like I think the military did it that way. It's like twice a month, and you go out and like so all of a sudden place is full of people and then you spend it, and then but they get this paid like and so that these places, wow, $12,500 a year. Now let's talk about what we all want to be. Athletes. Well, paid athletes, like the ones who make the big money. And if you hear people complain about $1 million, divide $1 million by 12,500. That's how many years a server. That's how many years it would take to save $1 million. Some people get that every year. Those are the ones that really, really like. see, they think I'm gonna pay them more than that. Yeah, I don't know if you ever seen like the Beijing smart city stuff. Well, they'll have cameras and they'll watch it, and because they know facial recognition, they'll show you net worth and everything. They'll show you the net worth of everything. People watching, and with the faces, the TikToks. See, it's not a religious war. It's actually an ethnic war. Because quite truthfully, I'm talking about pays in English. If people speak American English, if you don't speak English, how can you get a waiter job? What can you do if you can't communicate, if you don't speak? Make your own government, that's right. Make your own government in your own language. Let the oppressors know what it feels like. So that's just hey, Game of Thrones is more than just like the Seven Kingdoms. We're in a global Game of Thrones. We're in a global Game of Thrones. Oh. So my best, Hades. In Greek mythology, the brother of Zeus, god of the underworld, identified with the Greek and Roman Pluto and the Roman Dis. The underground kingdom of the dead ruled by Hades. In the revised version of the New Testament, the condition or the abode of the dead. Look at that berry. I had a trick in a hackberry and I was on the look for henpecked. I like this old dictionary. Whoever had it made little notes and harem. Noun. 1. The apartments of a Muslim household reserved for females. 2. The women occupying the harem. Also, harim. Arabic. Harim. Something forbidden, sacred. Harama, to forbid. Interesting. Are harems forbidden? I guess, interesting. Ooh. Hargeisa, a town in northern Somalia, former capital of British Somaliland, pop about 40,000. Flight of Muhammad, 622, start of Muslim era. And then they have Hajira. Now, the flight of Muhammad from Mecca to Medina, 622, now taken as the beginning of the Muslim era. 2. The Muslim era, also spelled Hijra. Aigyoman. Now, in the Eastern Orthodox Church, the head or the second in charge of a monastery, corresponding to an abbot or a prior in the Roman Catholic Church. See Archimandrite. Helot, a slave, serf, bondsman. Usually kept one of a class of serfs in ancient Sparta. Helios, part of Helos, a Laconian town enslaved by Sparta. Henpecked. That was the one that I was seeing if it's actually in the dictionary. Henpecked, adjective, dominated by one's wife. Henpeck, BT, I don't know what BT means. To domineer over or harass one's husband by nagging, ill temper, and petty annoyances. Oh my goodness, being a good wife, walk into a harem. Like, oh my goodness. When I was in Mosul, I was doing a thing there, and he has this castle. I mean, that's what you'd call it, huge, very impressive. And down the road from it that we passed and going up, is a castle. They might be smaller, but they have, but it's about a mile and a half away from where Saddam lived, and they said it was a harem. He built an entire, like, that's how many females of his household. See, they're not all wives. You know, that's something that like growing up, I thought a harem was where all his wives and he just. Well, I mean, that's where the other guy's wives live also, I assume. I was reading a little bit of the history of the Latter-day Saint Church, or the church, or Mormonism. It's very interesting reading this style of writing. It becomes kind of comical. When I was sitting up thinking earlier, saying the Garden of Eden, like, what kind of things? See, my brother's name is Adam. No. There's so many sins. That's an interesting thing in you slow down, and there's Adam and Eve in God's garden, in their dad's garden. I'm not saying most, because as a kid, and this is where we're trying to protect innocence for as long as possible. I have goal lists. I'm just on a standstill. I've gotten rid of most of the bad ones. Well, everything's bad. There was a time, because when I was young, and I was pretty pure, one of the things that we heard about the Mormons, they didn't associate because they didn't drink alcohol, they didn't smoke, they didn't drink caffeine, so no coffee. They didn't do any of these things, and there was the most, and I understand, like, being around my family now, why they don't want to associate. They're living that way. Kinds of stories. Well, I have a group of foreign students. Well, no, they're American now. They're American. Families came over. They went to school. Obviously, they can talk much better to one another in languages I don't understand and get F's on our stuff because they don't know English that well. So it's just got along, but I think they're trying to figure out, like, all the list of crimes to blame you for all the troubles of the world and karma and stuff like that. I get a lot of talking to that I don't understand how karma works. Okay, let's sit down. How do you know all the stuff about me, Tim Pool? imagine you don't have an ID. That technically nobody knows that they're in the country. See, that's the thing about illegal immigration, undocumented. The chances of people in their country know that they came here are just as likely as me knowing that an illegal immigrant came here and who he really is. In order to get government benefits, you gotta get a government name. Oh yeah. Oh, what we found out is that because we, you can say somebody's not qualified or that's your opinion, but the kids I went to high school with who were just first generation Americans, well, they have needy family. There's a lot of old broken men. See, when you look at me, my dad died homeless. My uncle died homeless. My uncle died homeless. My uncle died homeless. My grandfather died homeless. His brothers probably died homeless. There might be like some up in a very big mansion because they lived rightly. So I'm just not even bothering working. There are so many. It's like, what, I'm gonna be different. What I found out is when you get a job, you even get more hate. No, I'm speaking for me personally. Even more hate. But they love it because then you have something to steal. So you're buying nice things, but your good job. Oh boy, those people who depend on you to go to work so they can rob you. It's like watching. I was in talking about pop culture, and the movies are just so like. Probably because they're trying to sell people who don't understand, and you have to keep them entertained. Because otherwise, it's just like. Well, speed freaks. The need for speed. The need to stay up and work longer. Yeah, there was a big epidemics, and the crack and those types of things came from truck driving accidents. Back in the day, there would be like these rigs and these massive car accidents, and the drivers would have been like driving for 24 hours, popping like crank and stuff. So they get paid by a mile. Not by the hour, not by salary. The transportation networks. There's a Hank Williams song about Country Boy Can't Survive. Well, they make a lot of their own things. Boy, oh boy. Waylon Jennings, he has a song about they busted his show for something that was gone. Probably cocaine. Probably cocaine. Yeah, so I'm not, well, my dad calls cigarettes meth. I'm pretty certain. And, well, I'm not killing anybody for a pack of cigarettes. I just, some people have triggered reactions. Yeah. I don't have kids. I don't have to set a good example to them. It'd be dangerous in my living condition for a little toddler to be running around, for to knock something over on them. Just like, so, you want me to set a good example for your kids that I don't know? As seen on TV? Oh, why not? How are you going to take that to court? If people are like following you and putting you on TikTok without your consent for their people in China, everybody's a spy now. You look through your neighbor's drapes, you're a spy. I watched Red Dawn like 2012. I briefly remember it, and it was a communist. There's Red Dawn 1980, in which the Russian Soviets, associate them with Russian because they were the. So the Russians invade the U.S. and it was made for TV. It was a two-part series. I forget who was in it, but they're out there like the kids. It's up to the kids that fight back against the Russians. And I'm sure they had like adults helping them or something. But there was a 2000 remake of it, and it had North Korean. And one day it's like all these planes just fly over your head, and you see these paratroopers. And all of a sudden, like the North Koreans are like went rounding people up. They had posters against corruption, against that. It's like all this stuff. What was really funny is where is that book? Sometimes I think it coming in. My youngest brother, is not in the hospital. He went through a period where he was, well, he partied pretty hard and like was around different types of people. So he'd be checking his place like for voodoo. Like, well, I mean, if you like, if something moves, I mean, if something puts in, if you have like, where did this come from? I don't know. Did that guy from Gran Torino come in and like, did the Hmong come in and like move stuff around? Breaking and entering, I'm like, my uncle, one of my uncles, he designed end time bunkers, houses that like, have you ever seen they fold up and they're concrete and everything? I don't know. I mean, unless there's kind of everything I have, almost everything I had, I got from used stores, like thrift stores. People donate stuff. It was either good. I mean, it was thrown away. It's like this everything around me to make considered junk. Valuable things. I remember that I have a story. It was New Year's Eve party, probably 98 or something. 99. Yeah, New Year's Eve, because New Year's Eve turns into. Anyway, Sunday, we were cleaning up. There's confetti everywhere. And I see a box, and I open it, and it was a really pretty bracelet. Diamond bracelet. And I'm like, oh. And I walk over to the manager and say, sir, I found this, somebody dropped this, because we turned it into the lost and found, and people in the morning we sober up, be like, where did I lose it? And then call up their place, say I left something there, and then you could go get it. Why? I said, well, do you know how much you can get for that? I'm like, no, I don't know how much I can get for it, but it's not mine. I don't know who it belongs to. So I just, oh my goodness. I don't know if they ever got it, picked it up, or if the people are like, man, we go, because they're wage workers. But what we were making, I don't think we made $7,000 a year. It was like just seasonal. So yeah, I didn't have any money. I can see how I never got, but it wasn't stealing, or wasn't a thing. Stealing, or no, technically it's not stealing. They lost it. They dropped it. It's not stealing. Yeah, I mean, if you find it on the ground, I suppose it's yours. I don't know where I was going with that. I just feel good being able to just to talk. Well, I'm an American. Proud to be an American, 'cause at least I know one. And I have to look at this, because you see the historical thing, great victorious battle, great battle, best man. And so you're reading that these things happen, and you're actually living there, or like experiencing why. There's something about the Stamp Act, taxation. But I was reading a little thing about, it could be corporate espionage, just destroying. It's not espionage if you just go out, right, destroy the other factories so you have the right factory, seize the means of production. And you have the means of production, you gotta go get well, I guess they're the workers. I don't know what they're producing, probably more bombs. Well, I actually kind of, I just don't know if the quality is, I just don't know. And then there's the whole thing of the starvation, and even more, like, well, somebody's been blamed. If nuclear bombs, this is well before my uncle was, I don't know where he is now, but he used to, because I get it. There's nothing else. There's nothing when you get to that stage. Everybody hates you. You sit there and watch TV. But the excitement ones, the Jack Bauer 24. You sold them a nuclear bomb? No. If they went and took them because people got locked in and destroyed, COVID really, really destroyed. I think it's bringing sanity back. I think the COVID is bringing sanity back. So if I ever write a book like John D. Lee, how do I explain my lives? See, my uncle didn't tell his daughters that he had a previous marriage. He doesn't tell his family anything much, I'd call him if I had his number. I don't think the emails. See, I don't have them on my Facebook. I did for a little while. But we communicate through emails. My uncle's just, I don't know. Oh, wait a second. See, there are people making way more money. And it's only right that people show up and say, why did you blow up my family? 1980s. Yeah, the Lebanon. Oh my goodness. There was a Marine tower. And when we talk about the terrorism and anger, see now there's just so much news everywhere. Something's always being. Yeah, but the Lebanon towers. What was it? 200 and something Marines. I guess they didn't. You have a military for. I'm trying to learn this thing too. Should the military be? We have military bases. But are the soldiers using that? Are they going out committing crimes and then retreating back to the safety where they aren't in for to brag, not to brag, but there's a website called Plenty of Fish. Oh man. Could somebody loan me $20? I need to take a cab. My buddy borrowed my truck to take the girl that he met on Plenty of Fish on a date. Plenty of Fish. You don't hear that one anymore. There were other ones. The internet dating. That's how I got so many. That's how I got a couple of I don't know, I really wonder how I'd be if I didn't have, We could have been real people, but they responded. See, this is, now that I think about this isn't unusual for me. It's just the longest I've been in one place since I graduated high school. The longest I've been in one place, other than, yeah, well, or Bill. Oh, I probably violated so many things. It's like General Order 1 Bravos. No porn on your computer. Don't go to porn sites. Or it makes me see, not knowing, not being an IT person. All the security things. I never did on a government computer. Oh yes, that's what I was gonna think. Like an Apple, like you give your kid an Apple phone, and well, I had a school teacher, a friend, one of my friends. He married a school teacher, and she talked about the things that the kids said on the playground, because kids taunt and all these like jokes. And I think I took it as a way to, well, your mama's so fat, she can't, yeah, it's those types of things. Now kids, your mama's such a, and like find a naked picture. That's what everybody's like freaking out about. Well, not everybody, Some people. I don't want to look at your nude pics. I just don't. I don't. Reading that thing, what was it? The men's son, and it's listed his sons, because it's like, well, I guess he just keep track of the order of the kings. And I mean, they have other books too. Is Jesus king? I was reading a biblical history thing. Invested in people who research that stuff because they're brothers, It says, and when you're like, is it brother? No, he's his own son. Then he can't have brothers. They went into that when it's that doctrinal. And maybe they were hidden. I watched The Chosen on Angel TV, and the reason I like it is that you get the feeling of being there. They aren't skyscrapers, but there are lots of people just camped out, sickly, nothing to do. It's like if you have a farm. Let me pretend that I have a farm, and me and a few other people who live on the farm, we can grow food for, how big is this farm? Anyway, let's say we produce food for 100 people. Under assumption there's another farmer who's producing, and you go to the market. Now 1,000 show up. And they just come because they're all starving and eat everything. Kind of like a Roman. If you say the Roman things, people migrate. Tribes migrate. Rome is a settled city. I guess it takes a little while. It's a settled city. Well, and then it gets ransacked every once in a while because, people kind of get. It just seems the thing with cities. It just seems the thing. There are places like Ur and some other these archaeological sites. Why everybody leave? I don't know, massacres and stuff. At least I have a friggin' a phone, or at least we have cameras and everything. I really do get the feeling that there are people whose strategy is to move in and pretend to be just friendly and start killing people for their land. Just You don't know what's going on. People are going crazy. They're stabbing each other every once in a while. They're in the streets rioting. People are vacating their houses. Friends of the new people move into the houses, and they've always been here. This has always been Christie's house. I had a stepsister. She's been. We just assumed that if she was dead, she went up to Portland. And if you ever saw my stepsister, you'd probably think even like Sven Mocker. Yeah. I wonder what, because I've never joined the Church of Scientology. Yeah, Tom's very anti-smoking or something, I don't know. But the Purity Crusades, it is Ramadan. Did you know that? I'm just pretty much done associate. Oh, I go to a little independent church. I'm not proclaiming it or anything. It uses the same book that other independent churches use. If somebody with more knowledge wants to actually have a conversation about the things that are wrong, I know this dude that I met in Costa Rica, and he's into electrical and he studied. He said he reads he learned Hebrew and the ancient, so he translates old books. Says our Genesis is not right. Is it Mendel? There's a monk. There's a monk who in course of history books is very well known for doing experiment with food, like peas or something. He would look back at that particular thing. Well, GMO foods, genetically modified foods. I'm trying to learn how to make the base things. Like everything that I buy is prepackaged, processed stuff, and somebody else made it. Bread. Do you know how to make bread? Many ways. How about corn products? Like, yeah, so transforming society where people, I don't know what they do in the cities, but I read a book called Great American City and Vice Bondage or something. Oh, very interesting. Well, as we get more money here, it brings other things like sex work. Sex work is work. Sex worker unions. Oh, they don't have any. I know some people start vice or something like groups and things. I don't know, would you rather do the sex work or go off where you live at the factory and make it so people can get stuff for free? there's stories where at Foxconn, that's some factory that makes iPhones, that they installed netting because the I think it was mostly women, and probably and so these women, because they just stand their thing and do their little assembly line stuff, and they put a little, so it's just so the people who do this all day long, no social life, nothing, they live in the factory, and then I don't know their pay structure, so they'll go and they go up and throw themselves, walk to the building and you get up to the roof and fall off. Everything we have is a result of that. It seems like I was reading one of the self-help books. I wouldn't say it's a self-help book. The dude's the stuff in the Bible about the occult things, and it's more psychology. Was it Cosmic Trigger, Prometheus Rising? But he hasn't. But this guy named Robert Wilson, he has an experiment in there, like a mental experiment. He says take an item, and I think he's using pen as an example. He said, take an item. Just think, how did this get into your hand? Well, not your hand, but will you know that it was in my hand first? So, how did this get into my hand? Well, it came in a package. Where did the package come from? I brought it. Where did I bring it from? A store. I don't remember which store. How did it get to the store? Or how did it get on the shelf? How many people how many people have touched it? It's been part of the process of. So somebody had to store. Somebody had to work the cash register. I guess nobody was there. You just pick it off for. So they had it's in the box. It was on a shelf. Somebody must have put that box on a shelf. I don't know who did it. And somebody put it on a shelf. Where did the person put it on a shelf? Probably the back room. Where's the box with other things? Well, same things. Usually, they bulk ship. So the box, where did the box come from? Well, box had to be, not had to, but I'm assuming that the box was unloaded from a truck. Okay, so where was that box before the truck dropped it off? Where we have to go? Where did the truck go to? Probably shipping port. Probably one of those big ports where it's all our friggin' stuff. Is it China? Is it a state of mind? No, it's a location for business purposes. This is a business map more than anything. But so it came from a factory. How are living conditions? I don't know. But they tell me that this enables them to feed their family. That when I buy it, when I purchase this, and it circulates all around, and they know it's really good, so you make another one. Well, you have a factory because so many people want these. But now that I have it, I don't need to buy it. Poor people can't buy these things. So now, people base their life of a certain thing in the factory, and all of a sudden, factory's closed today. We no paychecks, so they probably need to buy food. Well, I heard a lot of them came from villages and things that were bulldozed over and buried under hydroelectric generator plants. that's a German mentality. I get why Germans are so just like, they always this way. Well, that's probably go through periods. But the worst thing when I was growing up, were our factories closing. Where all our good factory where people get good union jobs, building things. And yet there's a certain thing. It's watching Mad Men where they show that advertisement is about telling man if they buy this product, they get this, they can be like, oh, the American dream. I guess I suppose that it just looks so fun. When I was an angry teenager, let's see how influential music is. There's a lot of research. I have a big shelf of like psychology, pop psychology. I call it pop psychology. If you got learning it in a university, then it's like Barnes and Noble store shelves. Was I talking about psychology just now? I don't know. No, I don't have a chat or anything. I'm just watching myself through the OBS window. It is now, oh my goodness, what day is this? I got a good sleep. To drink way too much. Threatening text, the belligerent text to my, cousin-in-law. It's bad times in Salt Lake City, I suppose. My cousin, she's a realtor, and I would have thought I had like the nation's worst criminals are they did serve a purpose because we move every 2 years. When you're in that line of work, you usually move in every 2 years. Gotta get into a house. That whole cycle of people moving cities this way, that way, that way. Now it's like gas expensive. How much are you gonna load up? Can you afford? You can't afford the house you live in. How can you afford to move the furniture to a house? This is the crazy. This is just the crazies. This is just the crazies. What can drive people away? Maybe it was that couple that lived down across the way from. It was a family neighborhood, high school, and you get the swingers. Yeah, mid-30s, good paying jobs, no kids, house in the suburbs. Hey, heard your old man is at work today. My person plays some pool. Just hang out, day drink. Yeah. Frugal. Let's do the Moogle. Did you Moogle it? Did you Moogle it? Did you Moogle it? Is there actually what would happen if I typed that word in? The Frugal fan? They've sold everything they have to prepare for this moment. Yeah. Preppers run out of money too. And they want people are still out, like having a good time, because they're ready. They need class to happen now. They need to have the class to happen now. It's hard to enroll to a sortable, like 5 years, 3 years survival system. You gotta happen now. Probably groups of husbands. It's probably a group of divorced dead men. Who are the bigger cheaters, men or women? Who cheats more? And when we cheat, taxes. I'm talking about the fiery and brimstone one. Who cheated first? I think Bible's clear. Adam is You see, there's a thing where apparently, like, Adam and Eve are just great people. They go out in the world, they are just righteous and stuff. I don't know. Well, there are more men. There are more men who have harems than women who have. Like, where are all your husbands living? Well, we all live in a barn. At least we like each other. At least they're fun, but oh no, they don't like a new brother husband. Oh my goodness. See, that helps man balance it out, because if you know, if you have one man, if the king has like a house full of like concubines and wives, why can't the queen have her own shack with men and husbands? You know, it's just. I mean, we keep circling around to like matrimony. It's a battle. It's just why the Catholic Church really became unpopular. They still do the no divorce, and I think only one wife. Pretty sure like one wife. Maybe because walking through war zones, who wants to get married to a homeless like drug addict? Not forcing any like pull some certain. Your husband's going to jail for tax fraud. Yeah, we're gonna put this person in his place. Take like some people. Hey, you have daughters? She's of age. If she's not married by 15, you know what that means. Well, I guess some places are 12. Oh my God, feral children. So pretend you're Adam and Eve. Pretend it's more like there's nothing. You know, there's one, there's nothing. It's just, and they have kids. Okay, who's their kids gonna have with? If you're last and you're growing up and they're all like turning into little adults, would you, like, how long do you keep like the boys and the girls? I know foster people who have that kind of dilemma where they have foster children, so technically they're not, but then they start, well, they're good Christians. But we don't have any type of families to arrange marriages or even approve or go to them. We don't have any way to go to a marriage. And again, I mean, the marriage is... Coming back to the Game of Thrones, I really wonder about Lord Bolton, because they had been through wars. You know, there's a bigger war, like 15 years before we start watching Game of Thrones. Robert Baratheon's in Family Line. So he's been king for 15 years after, 15 years prior, massive war. Civil War, I suppose. Civil means like within a society. Our war, that war, they call it police action. That war was somewhere else. So that was war, but not where people watching it are just, yeah, I know what's happening. Yeah, bombs, shots and bullets blow up on television. Plane crash. You know, people wrote war, you know, got news reports, news reports said you were dead. You know, flashing the picture. And like, we had 4 killed. I remember, it would be like a roadside bomb. They took a roadside bomb, took out a Humvee, and then they showed the faces. Four soldiers were killed in a roadside bomb. And how long? Because the DOD has to release that stuff. But we had internet shutdowns because there would be, whenever something would happen, apparently communication. Like let's say there was a roadside bomb. People's families would start getting phone calls from people from the base. Yo, man, he just got killed. Your son just got killed. Dude, he's dead. Oh yeah, they'd call their families, tell them their loved one was dead. Like, that's what I'm kind of. I remember getting that's a constant concern growing up. My mom died when I was 13. My brothers were like 7, 6. Anyway, the fear of what we would do to my dad, like we know it, like heart attacks and stuff. And it was, am I gonna come home from school? Is my dad gonna be dead of a heart attack? That was basically like every thought that I had when I left away, because I wanted to be and spend time with him and help him. And it would be like, is the day then and get a phone call and he's dead. So it happens. But he was over 72. He didn't think he'd make it past 53. Remember, we were over visiting my cousin Bliss that stopped talking to me after I used a bad word after getting out of hospital. Yeah, I was getting out of hospital. Attempted murder. Absolutely attempted murder, if not murder outright. Because, yeah, my family says I'm dead. And so she stopped talking to me after I used bad words about her boyfriend or something. I don't know. I wondered what killed all the men in my family. Guess we got replaced. Yeah, kids. Your daddy didn't shoot himself in the head. Your daddy didn't shoot himself in the head, kids. Nope. My stepbrother and sister, their dad shot himself. He killed himself when they were like, yeah, about the same age as my brothers. Hey, imagine having a dad that you need and you love. I'm just kind of, well, I mean that is a big castle. Like I suppose stuff that happens in England does affect their English relatives over here, because that's a big house. I mean, this house is better than some people's houses. Oh boy, if only somebody could inherit it. An ugly writing accident at the end of September in which the Protector was involved showed up on the other side of the picture to parliamentary checks. How much of the stability of England at the time depended on the continued existence of one man? It arose out of a presentation from the Count of Oldenburg, who, knowing of Oliver's famous fondness for horses, had hoped to please him with 6 grey Frieslands. Oliver could not resist trying out the team personally in the Hyde Park, with himself driving the coach. But the result was a disaster. First, Oliver tumbled down and was then jerked along with his foot caught in the reins for some distance, only saved when the protectorial shoe fell off and released him. Furthermore, the presence of the devoted Thurlow on the expedition nearly proved fatal to his master. He too fell out, and the pistol he carried in his pocket went off, nearly missing Oliver. Thurlow. This is a little thing out of a book, Antonia Fraser, Cromwell, Lord Protector. Well, I mean, he is like, King Charles is like the president of England. It's like, well, he didn't get elected, he was just born king. Like, yeah, and but if he's president, well, somebody just shot at Trump. Oh yeah, you know how much people used to get paid to be ooh man, remember we were talking about that, remember we were talking about how dividing $12.50, they're trying dividing $1 million by $12,500. I was a lower paid guy. How about like $1,000 a day versus, I work with them, they loved it. Oh, those were good times. $1,000 a day. Oh boy, man, what are you gonna do if you think? And that's what you train. You train, man. That's what you do. Like, boom, 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 boom. That's your job. Imagine that's your job. It's just like you're better than a rock star or anything, because rock star people like, well, you can walk around, nobody knows what I really do. And then one day, and like, okay, what are your job skills? Where have you worked? I haven't worked for. I was off the books for most of my life. I have no job history skills. I don't have an identity. Typing test? Typing test, you say? General, what's Microsoft Excel? No, do you have anything where I can shoot a gun? Like, I need, okay, I'm gonna take a pay cut. $500 a day, is there any mall? Become mall needs some security. Yeah, well, I mean, $500 a day, I make sure that like, nothing happens at the mall. You're not allowed to shoot people. Okay, and you also have liability if you like break a kid's arm, just like tackling or something because you're not a real cop. You can't be a real cop. You don't have any identity. And it's just stressful. It's stressful for men going through career changes. I read E. Michael Jones' Libido Dominandi, and it was about there's a section in there. Well, he was talking about the thing to replace, like the Pentagon. See, when men like me can't get jobs, we gotta go to those jobs. Oh, the army, they're just waiting for somebody to come do for like, let's see. I mean, it's basically, yeah. Well, when I started, it was $12,000 a year, but you also got a free place to live and food. So you're like, how much do you make? Well, I don't pay for anything because it's all I live on. It's hard to explain. I've come from a different reality of the world that I didn't have to hustle. I knew exactly how much I was in. So I'm just sitting here. To be oblivious. I didn't know how much pain my family, my brothers, the one that's in the hospital, he couldn't even make $12,000 a year. He couldn't even make $12,000 a year. And he never could. Hold on. Hold on. I have to put something on mute here. Okay, hey. Yes, it is. Yeah, well, they'll talk or even just visiting, sitting with him, just wishing blessings on him. Our mom was in the church, and they left Salt Lake City a long time ago, but he's still be on the rolls, even though we're like really not. Anyway, he's in the hospital. He's been there for like 8 years. He has a brain injury. He doesn't talk, but he can like nod and say yes or no and stuff. And and I just like somebody to go sit with him and do some ministering with him. And also since I can't get any, I don't have a vehicle, I can't visit him. I've been trying to get my brother or something to go visit him, just like to just say how he's doing. Like, I can't even get like the nurses there, the freaking activities people. I'm trying to get like even a photograph, even a photograph of him at this point. I haven't seen him in a year and a half. And there's things been going on in the family, financial difficulties and stuff like that. So I talked to elders a couple of years ago, and I think they had the hospital lockdown due to the COVID thing. They do like no visitors for weeks and stuff like that. So he's with our family. We're putting our family tree together so we can show what apostles and that were descended from. So I'm working on that. I think it'll be very helpful. Very helpful to do that.
take us on them, so we're going to give them a little blessing and tell them about the confirmation and stuff. Very, very I understand there's like students happening on the well, apparently more, there's more usually one. It's a storehouse. You're saints. Are you saints or elders? Okay, you don't recruit yourself. It's more of you. Yeah, it's the same. And I have old books. I was telling my sisters about this, about this 1877 book by Bishop John D. Lee. But it's like, that about the stories there's riots that happen between Mormons and Gentiles often, apparently. By reading the descriptions of the trip from Nauvoo across the Mississippi into Salt Lake City. It's firsthand accounts of what they're like. We had talked to the elders here, about the elders Bonnie, Elder Riley. Pretty interesting. Mormons send people on missions as soon as they convert. Like an 18-year-old group. Yeah, Riley. Yeah. That's kind of, there was a guy from North Carolina. He just converted and he was the other one. Yeah, they don't know anything about church histories. Have you read any church histories, the Doctrines and Covenants? Do they still study or do they have any working? Okay, yeah, I've never been on a mission. I've seen that's always the way the mission system's been. And they were just real busy. We used to go give my brother Johnny like pizza. They would deliver pizza and talk to him. I guess they had a bigger budget and more time on their hands. Yeah, I asked him if he didn't know anything. Or he was like just, I guess it's back to the basics. So, are you related to any other porn? Yeah, we're good. Yeah. Do you know that there's 12 of them, right? Or, yeah. The sisters, she got most of the names, like just single names mostly. I mean, I was there for charity, and I should let you go look online and see who the biggest one people are. I remember anything. Is it Hebert? Is Hebert still the president? Yes. Oh. Alright. I guess some of the names, because Hinckley, I thought Hinckley was what's the name of the current one? Okay, Russell. Yeah. Lorenzo's not Leonard. Lorenzo. Yeah, Lorenzo. Yes. I have a books that are written by Felix Farmer. And they're just church history. For me, it's family. For me, it's family. Like this. Like I understand I stopped going to church. They replaced us with riots. It happens. But Adam can't go to church because you can see him, and speak with him. Hopefully, he's still in the same hospital. I'm pretty sure. I called him. They say he's still there. But then when I asked if they can arrange a phone call or something, they not. Oh, he had me there for a few. But still, it's been a year or so. And that'd be most appreciated. When do you think you might? Yeah, and I'm gonna have to call them and let them know that I got you. Is it? Do you have a time frame? Do you have anything to block the time when you think you could go out there and sit with them? Okay, then I'm gonna call them and say, call them out after looking at the letter to the city. So okay, thank you.
didn't expect you to be able to go out there today. My phone, I felt it vibrating, and I was rather shocked. And so I don't get many phone calls. So, any other than like tax things and yeah. So you could, just, I'll look for you here in front of me. Just if you get there. Can you take pictures like the phone you're using? Okay, yeah, I just like a picture of my Adam. It'd be kind of, you went there and there's a wrong comatose patient. He's not comatose though. He's definitely not comatose in that sense. Alright, thank you very much for Elvis. What are your names? Frank, any roses? Elwood Braxton, Elwood Cherry. Oh, I just it dawned on me. You know any of the Franks? I mean, not Franks. His name's Frank Rose. The grandfathers and we go back to when it was a polygamous colony. So having uncles with I had one uncle with 5 divorces. At least he got divorced. But some guys still have 5 marriages. But others. Thank you. And then we have to call the hospital now. Let you know that expect some visitors. Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. Jenny is perfect. You got that. Jennifer's such a common name. It's hard to know what we're talking about. So, thank you. All right. Bye. Traumatized. personal family situation. You ever see Crimson Tide? Submarine therapy dog? He's a captain. Anyway, what to do. It's been one of those days. I just don't feel like leaving. The New Testament of the Jerusalem Bible. Synoptic Gospels. Oh, I thought this was. They used to give out the New Testament. They'd hand out New Testament, only the New Testament portion, for little pocket things for soldiers going to war. Recommended by Dr. Elizabeth Huffer, my meditation teacher, a beautiful soul. Very Dooney, January 1974. The Jerusalem Bible. When the Jerusalem Bible was first published in English in 1966, the foreword to the complete standard edition announced its objects: to serve two pressing needs facing the church, the need to keep abreast of the times and the need to deepen theological thought. She has it underlined here. The need to keep abreast of the times and the need to deepen theological thought. This double program was carried out by translating the ancient texts into the language we use today, and providing notes to the text which were neither sectarian nor superficial. Oh, Bible study. The Gospel according to St. Luke, prologue. Seeing that many others have undertaken to draw up accounts of the events that have taken place among us, exactly as they are handed down to us by those who from the outset were eyewitnesses and ministers of the word, I in my turn, after carefully going over the whole story from the beginning, have decided to write an ordered account for you, Theophilus, so that your excellency may learn how well founded the teaching is that you have received. For a little bigger, 2:474. But I guess I'm reading a book. The goal to read the book from start to finish. The Bible is just more picking up and looking at random verses. It's interesting. Huh. It's very interesting. Well, as if these events actually happened. Now, I suppose the problem comes when it's the Jerusalem Bible. And in my city, it didn't happen exactly that same way. But apparently, a lot of people are descended from these people. Can you figure out who you're descended from in the Bible? I'm still working on a genealogy tree from like 1960. I'm still trying to get the family tree from like my dad's dad. It's hard. these friggin'. I wonder if they have little RFID type of things in like. We used to watch a lot of the breakthroughs in technology, and they had like these programs of future uses of like these little nanobots and stuff, just tiny, tiny little things. I watched a short movie, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a very interesting concept. See, in the movie, if you won the lottery, like the people have their lotto tickets, and well, apparently Hit Squad, because now you have $1 million lotto that you won legally, and then people come in and they kill the person, and then they take the lotto and go cash it in. They just replace the person. Now all of a sudden, the Brazilian lotto team has like a new friggin' identity and money that they don't have to explain how they get one lotto. Gambling. These are fun. See, the thing is, they can be fun little games to play, little puzzles, and still. Did you buy it because you want to do a little like Sudoku puzzle? You can do that for. No, buy it because you want some money. I used to like winning money too. Sorry, forgot being social. I need to take my phone off vibrate so I can actually hear the phone ring. Fortunately, I felt it vibrating. Where are you going to get a new phone? The necessity of having one of these, I remember hearing a story about people who researched, they're anthropologists, they go out and there's other ways of living. He said there was an island. They said there's a people, and their custom was they would talk to a tree. Like, they need to get communication. Like, somebody's out gathering, and they you need to gather like extra nuts, or so they bring back some nuts. So asking for a grocery store. So they go out and they talk to the tree to send a message to like their relative or the other people, friend, family, small communities. So they talk to the tree, and it was accurate enough that they would just talk to the trees. And then they got a telephone. Telephone made it quicker, because the trees are kind of, you gotta be in tune, I suppose. And they cut down a tree to put the telephone pole up. Suppose there are kids out, what was life like before this? What was life? What was life when you were young? Oh my goodness. Like abused autistic children, neglected, abused, starving autistic children. It's a hidden epidemic. I suppose I did see some videos of like child nappings. It was real interesting. It's happened. Child nappings been caught on camera. Can prove it? Do you still have pictures of kids on milk cartons? When I was a kid, they had milk cartons. Have you seen this chap? I moved out of the Salt Lake area. One of the reasons is because there were child abductors in my neighborhood. Kid goes out to play, doesn't come back. What do you do? What do you do if your like little kid just disappears? Run off? Suppose. So you put up posters, right? Is that a normal thing for so many children to go missing? I was kind of shocked at the court judgment against Alex Jones. I mean, I know he incites a lot. I know he's very insightful. At the same time, watching news and asking questions. That's a bad thing. And it started when the newspapers, like, they used to have comment sections, and people would start calling the news article liars. It would point out like factual inconsistencies or maybe misinformation, just like denial of truth. The comments on the newspapers where people would often start reading the comments more than the article, and then they took away the comments because it was rude, because it was Now there's a thing about the Rockefeller Foundation that the feminist movement get women into the workforce. It was so they could double the taxes. Well, if you have twice as many people working, then you can lower wages, but they'll all pay taxes. I remember Atterbury. See, is it train? Like I'm saying, is it the war, or is it moving people around? Oh, there was a place. A lot of the budget pays leases. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but military doesn't own land. The U.S. military doesn't really own land. They lease land. And so those bases, that's a lot of property tax or lease payments. But if you don't have any soldiers, it's just empty land. We're going to build a home for soldiers here. Oh, what will they do? Well, right, tanks, they'll practice test fires and be ready for to defend you. We gotta put this military here to defend you from, they're. That's why I like this beat up community. Yeah, we have a lot. I think we might have a high percentage of veterans. I think we might have a very high percentage of old broken veterans. So while the young men go off to do their thing, I think I'm pretty sure we have some dudes out here. The need for fear. When I'm reading the Jerusalem Bible, it's Biblio. Mine says Biblio, it's book. Encapsulating the entire history of the past year in one book of events that you're at. I generally try to avoid using names like Zion or Deseret. Well, no, Deseret's not used too much. In the old book, apparently Zion was Missouri, and then in Zion was an Oregon coast or looking for Zion. Sitting at a bar last night. Well, the bar in the restaurant, like the seating area, just zoning out and watching the basketball game. And it was just kind of kind of faint excitement, because it's just so. I'm sure they're having fun. There's a lot of people with this track. Let's cheer. I'm like, dude, divide it. That guy's reported makes $25 million a year. Divide that by $12,500. That's why there's no. Oh, and that was a rich place. So that was $12,500 serving in a place that had a lot of money. People out here make $7,800 a year. The community's their own customers. Somebody comes in and like, hey, spending money tourist season. But like I said, it said sex tourism. Here's my freaking Oracle decks. Is it Cyprus? There was a war, and it was between Turkey and Greece, and there's disputed ownership over islands, and it's forbidden to go to because it's disputed land. So the civilians they have to say, and I've seen pictures somewhere, probably online, of things look just like this. Probably more cleanly, but yeah, people just all of a sudden there was a war broke out, and so the city got evacuated. I assume people living there were told that it was not their land. It happens. Follow the news enough, you hear about places like Crimea and other places where violence is occurring. And that's a big news generator. honest. Sometimes news has to generate it. But, I mean, things get to the point. The place I'm at, like, where like the person makes $25 million a year, the city's budget isn't that much. So I was just like, kind of like, no, I'm not really interested in the games. And the people are now more like, how did you get that job? Oh, the history of people getting their jobs because the person who had the job got injured. Yeah, and you didn't want that starter. Starters get paid more money usually, and there's complaining when the highest paid person doesn't do anything because they have a contract, and they're just fighting over money. There's piles and piles and piles of money. And when I say money, what pops into your head? Oh my goodness. Someone with a mind and knowledge. My goodness, you got enough like silver, you could just print these little quarters out. There's a friend who talks about it's like they're not made with a pure silver anymore, and if they were, they would be. Well, the silver dime, I think, at one point was like $15. I think the silver dime at one point was the size of a dime was like $15. Because the coins and the dollar bills we use aren't the same. They're supposed to be. This is a quarter dollar. So at the time of issuance of the dollar, that was big money. Where about Easter Island? It's been a long time. What would bring see things in my family party, if I ever want a family party, if you want a family party, see, I want the kids from my neighborhood. I was talking to a guy earlier, and it's the hate, the venomous, just, oh my goodness. I don't want to say her friggin' her Twitch brand. So I had a neighbor, and her name was Star. And with a name like Star, I suppose, like, her entire life path was to be a star. You know, that's like, this is the star. My first time, because I had like a real big crush, you know, going through hormonal changes. I was 13 and she was 12. That's the age difference. Now maybe for like women, like if you knew my age, then you'd know how old. But people don't always list. And actors. So anyway, so Star, I was just they're mostly boys. I think she was the only girl. Yeah, there was for between well, I already had my friend down next to the school that I knew longer, and then a friend on the other side of me who also liked Star. Like, because we're guys, and so there's like one girl in this group of guys, and the one day, maybe it was when you were 14 and 13, we went on a bike ride. I was so excited because I got to be alone with the girl. Usually people like want to talk to the girls. We change, right? She's not just a boy. She's a girl now. It's like the separation when kids and then I'm on this bike ride, and her mom, like I don't remember, did she tell me? Maybe there's this boy she was dating. Like she was going on dates, right? I didn't know what that meant. And because we're dating, that's why we don't talk as adults, So, and we were going on a bike ride, and then we started going farther because we weren't supposed to go that far. Oh yeah, she wanted to visit a guy that her mom wouldn't let her. And so she used me to go on a bike ride to go visit this other dude, but she wasn't supposed to talk to. Yeah, I broke down that day. Maybe it was 15 and 14. But anyway, I broke down. I sat on the couch with on my date. She went in the room and shut the door. Now I don't know because I had a massive split. I don't remember if I just sat there and left without her, or waited and then just wouldn't talk to her. Later on, that guy came up to me at the drive-in and let me know that he reversed. Great thing for like a 15-year-old to be like, guys are. Oh, thank you. Yeah, because she was dating a new guy after she went over to the dude's house that she wasn't supposed to go to. Then she was dating an even more So I'm really curious of her story. I'm really curious. It's like 13 Reasons Why. Yeah, actually I watched 13 Reasons Why. I don't know if you watched young. I guess that's considered young adult stuff. And I only watched the first season. No, they were actually like. No, there was a single mother even poorer than Star's family. I think the economic scale went from the house with the bikers to our house with a one man carpet cleaning company and the unemployed mechanic next door. It's hard. It's those kids. Some of us I've been bumping into some of the guys, and they're looking rough and angry because boy oh boy. I mean, did the same people come up to you guys and tell you about your girlfriend? The same people. You have your girlfriend, and then because well, my goodness, we grew up watching sports. Like, oh wow, sports, and these people, and they're rich and famous, worshiping false idols. Is that just watching it, liking it? Well, I guess when they're our heroes, we expect more out of them. Still, there's a new generation. They're he's half my age. Young, tall, rich. So I'm just out here with Jameson. Interesting books. What if Nixon hadn't resigned? In March 1983, at 4 o'clock one drizzly morning, the Democratic National Committee headquarters located at the Watergate Hotel was broken into by 5 men. When the burglars are caught, the president orders a cover-up. But the public never learns about it because the reporter who unearths the crime is hounded to his death. So begins the stunning thriller that poses the premise. What if the man responsible for Watergate remained in office because the last crime was never exposed? I don't know. Probably more and bigger war. I don't know. Or fascist takeover. See, President Nixon is like Department of Education. So many of the federal government departments weren't always existing. The Republican dude push those. Yeah, and that's what the president's kind of steering. It's just. I suppose this is an ongoing thing. Well, the cabinet members are loyal, and then maybe Nixon's people set up a shadow government. You know, if your boss doesn't like tell the employees he's been fired, who are you gonna listen to? If you never met your boss's boss, what if you've never met your boss's boss? And he just shows up, or she. Get out of the office, you're fired. Nobody's ever seen this person before. Yeah, apparently, the COVID really hurt the visits. I heard a lot of the people in Alexandria, Virginia. Ooh, I drove through there. I was hanging out there for a little bit. 2 weeks. Yeah. Right before Thanksgiving. Yeah. First part of November. I was going back. My brother was still walking and talking. He was in a recovery thing. I think too much family time because it's just he was in a recovery home. He didn't have any money. Boy, oh boy. So yeah, I did one weekend. So I did get a weekend. I took their I guess it's called tram. Whatever people refer to that coaster. It's a train. It's a train. It's a commuter train thing. And I gotta go to Washington D.C. Interesting stone. I mean the buildings, the old stone architecture. Saw the people camped out outside. They had the anti-nuclear war people, or just nuclear bombs in general. Yeah, they maintained a thing at table out there for years and years. I see the National Lampoon. That was a particular treat for whatever reason growing up. The Chevy Chase. It's funny something can be so popular in Parks and Recreations. Still, he played the everyman or the aspiring middle class white man so well. Well, Summer Vacation. He had a modest station wagon, very modest. He was driving his family like we would drive, like we would try to go on vacations. It's just, or do it like this. So yeah, anyway, he drives his family to Wally World, and he's so upset that Wally World's closed for maintenance. Do they abduct? Does he kidnap the boss in that one as well? And then there's Christmas Vacation, where he has a night. Christmas Vacation takes place at his house, which is now it's a bigger house. It's just he's a more affluent neighborhood, and it's like this. It's having a competition for Christmas tree lights with his family coming over where he lives, which looks like Alexandria, Virginia. Because you drive around like, wow, you saw where I grew up. You see what my dad, a camper shell, just to live in there, a place. It was living even indoor in a camper shell, back of an old pickup truck. And so here, but we're supposed to be sympathetic with Chevy. He's just, and then he doesn't get his Christmas bonus. Oh, yeah, the evil capitalist didn't give him his Christmas bonus that he needed for his pool. Oh man, you really feel for it in that thing. I wonder, watching it, people's impressions. Like, why don't you watch this old movie? Tell me how you feel. Yes, because it's funny. The things that happen in it are granted, they're humorous. It's just something that is so unbelievably unaffordable. Now, here's the thing. That house, they only made $12,500 a year. But with inflation and stuff, that was yeah. So at one point that might have been $12,500 home when most people didn't have any money. And you look at like salaries over time. Like how did they live off that? Well, that was a lot of money back then. Just go and get a meal for a penny. So, and then National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation. Oh, we gotta see his wife's nodders in that one. Talk about like the mighty Cyrus pipeline. Who is this Chevy Chase? I mean, he does look close enough like my uncle. Do you have a Chevy Chase in the family? Oh, the stories. I so miss listening to my dad's stories. He had this one because he had an old Chevy. He inherited it from his dad. It was like his dad's only possession. He had the studio apartment, and so he had a pickup truck. It was rusted. Get in the ignition. He has it wired. He had hot wired his own vehicle. Like exposed wires everywhere. Freaking electrical tape, just duct tape, everything to keep this thing running. He is because being familiar with an area, it has its advantages. My dad, he was coming. He was this kind of like a weird street intersection. There's traffic lights and everything. So his light turned green. He's sitting there and he drove straight, and all of a sudden there's a cop, like a young cop, just. It's like you drove a violation. That was a turn only lane. He said it was a turn only. The cop says that my dad went straight, because you know how those. I don't know if you've ever seen so many street rules for good reason. And so he had the turn. He'd been driving it forever. Not forever, ever, but since he got a car. Lived in Sacramento. He knew the place. He knew it real well. And so his cop is trying to give him a ticket. Old beat up friggin' vehicle. I get in such arguments. I'm supposed to buy a new vehicle. Why aren't you buying a Tesla? Well, I tried to buy a Tesla. I actually did try to buy a Tesla with Doge, which is like a primary thing. Like Elon Musk was like, Doge, yo, just sign with your t-shirt. Show with Doge. Mm-hmm. It's like the richest man. Why are you driving an old vehicle? This is reliable. Know how it works, how to fix it. I really don't think Elon knows anything about like all the things that are in Teslas now. You know when he smoked pot on the Joe Rogan podcast? You know when he smoked pot on Joe Rogan? That is a career destroyer. A career destroyer. The other people, I don't know who else is on the board of directors. I don't know who funded them. They're probably his investors are probably trying to kill Elon. We've been there before. And the horseless carriage. Oh, what do you need a carriage for? Oh yeah, that's right. Hauling stuff. Or I'm actually. I remember somebody was saying that when there's was it Jesus's? When there's one of Jesus things, or is it it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of the needle than a rich man entering heaven, or something along the lines. Hmm. Well, I'm just looking at all the stuff I have because right now I'm rich. And if I were to leave and go try to enter heaven, what if heaven's located on the side of like a steep mountain pass? And that's what somebody on the radio like. It's there's a lot of arguments. No, rich man. Because somebody said that there was at the time when they researched the times he lived in, a lot of people would know that there was this like narrow gateway into I don't know. Oh, mountain tops. I saw a picture somewhere of the oldest or strongest wood building. How they is it somewhere? It's located some on top of some hiking mountain, real high up. It's covered in snow, so when the hikers go there, I guess they hang out in this cabin. Oh, come a long way. You know, there was once what was that? Oh, that guy. Yeah, there was that when a religious order puts out a execution. Is it fatwa? I mean, is it in my dictionary? Would that have been around? Fetish, fat-witted, stupid, obtuse, fatuous, foolish and silly and self-satisfied, weight and mean, stupid, fat, tourism. Anyway, oh shit. Interesting. I wonder what they were. Fascinating. Well, the different, they're obviously using this in Fatima of or pertaining to the Fatimid dynasty. Oh, yeah, see, I'll show you what you can see. Can you see how there's like ink and stuff written all over in the it's. So I was looking at another page. It goes Fathers of the Church, the teachers and defenders of Christianity during its first 7 centuries. And then they have a different ink for fathom, fathomless. Okay, so fathom, a measure of length 6 feet or 1.829 meters, used principally in marine and mining measurements. Measure fathom. Fathom is 6 feet. Okay, but then they get to Fatima. Then they have 606 to with question mark to 632. The daughter of Muhammad and wife of Ali. Fatima, the 7th and last wife of Bluebeard. Fatimid, a descendant of Fatima, daughter of Muhammad, one of a North African Arab dynasty. Oh my goodness! You know, when I was really trigger happy, and then they have like other pertaining to. Then they have Shiites and Sunnis. So yeah, because they. What's your religion? Well, you know, it's I don't even know if we had a family Bible. And the religion is the religion of my father. Growing up, he said he had a decision to make, whether to raise us in a church, and if so, like which one. You know, my best friends, family, they would go to a church, a Christian church every Sunday. We didn't. I think it was the getting us ready and stuff, and just to pick one. I remember one time I was I been evasive. I told him I got my contract, right. I thought I was done with the Navy. I had personal issues, and then they told me I had to go to do a medical in New Orleans. You know, I was fighting. I was trying to get out on a medical thing. I wasn't actually trying to get out. I was trying to get like a limited duty, like a different. I had personal stuff going on. I had a whole bunch of stuff. So anyway, I went to New Orleans and didn't tell them I was going to New Orleans. And so of course they knew. I know I know that him and his wife were like, but I came back one day. And this is years later, because then I had to admit, like, oh yeah, I thought I'd just be here for a couple weeks and go to the doctor, and the doctor said, you're good, you don't have to. And you know, I stuck it out, because I didn't want to get out of the Navy. Oh, it was like this, it's like the story of my, it's just, all university. So yeah, because he didn't teach us to lie. And that made me so angry to be lied to. That was one thing. You do not lie to my dad. You know, people make decisions based on yeah, non-smoker. I've gone long periods of time. See, I was a non-smoker. Oh, yeah, it used to be true. Then one day I hung out with the smokers, and they looked like they were having more fun. Because I had to set myself. It's like when you do take some things, you gotta be apart from society. And so I was in a program. I did not associate with drugs. I did not associate with drugs. I saw people, like lawyers and stuff, future lawyers. They looked like they were having fun. They were from well-educated legacies, and I couldn't really hang out with them. And so I was late to the game. Oh, there's somebody who, I'm sure brags all about me. Oh, that's the problem. My family, when they see pictures in uniform, except for that one, because I don't even think I'd put that cigar. Well, here we go with the vape. See, I watch people vape on live stream, you know, 'cause that's acceptable now. Or then they'll change it again. It's just, I love the rules get changed constantly. The story about my dad going through the thing, because he had made that turn, he'd been in that for longer than that dude had been alive. You know, my dad had been driving that road longer than that dude had been alive. But I guess they were on a mission to give poor people tickets. Or give everybody tickets. Like, where do you think the money goes when the cop, like, gives you a ticket? But they get worse. And then I was listening to an interview or saw him, and he said, the police chief said, find more tickets. Give out more tickets. That's backbreaking to somebody. See, I know a dude who had a fast car. He didn't care about speeding tickets. $400? Oh well. You know, When you don't, it's like, oh, well, okay, $400, that's fun. Oh, you want to give me a ticket too? Just somebody, it's just a fine. And then you have the other one that doesn't have $400. That's rent. That $400 ticket for a minor infraction because maybe what if they did repaint the roads and they did road work here and they changed the road designs. People who've been driving the road all the time, all of a sudden, have to get used to these new things. Somebody's driving it for 30 years, the new people show up, they change the sign, boom. Give me all your money, old man. Get out of that house. You're coming up. We suffer tragedy. You know what happened to the Palisades fire? That's California. Oh, the Golden State, everybody wants to live here. Oh boy. Can't build houses fast enough. Well, they burn down way quicker than it takes to build them. I did calculations on the was it Grenfell Towers in London? So there was a fire. It made the news a few years ago. And it was so packed with people, like way more people than the 2.5 like occupancy for the various condo thing, right? It was packed up. And so they need to build like, how many of those towns? How many? For the number of people, like 100, 500. It's like to house all the new people showing up. They need 500, like 10, is it 10 stories? Well, they need 500, and so you see these beautiful fields and pastures just turning to concrete buildings, just as the concrete jungle just expands. And that's our story of urban civilization. You can have like noise pollution. You're next to them rocking out. There are other people who are like practicing their religious fasting, and somebody's like cooking up like big delicious thing. Maybe some people don't even have it. Would you move into an apartment complex? You got a nice condo suite, and except everybody in there starving except you. Like every time they do neighbors and stuff, they just watch you go out and shop. They have like no money. They're down at the bottom, like begging, like trying to get passerbys to give them a buck. You're just going out, bringing back all your stuff, and you live it. Oh man, this apartment complex. What if you just moved in and it wasn't that way? But then all your neighbors lost their jobs. You're like the only one, and you're the boss, and you fired them. Now there's no way to feed their family. You don't have enough money to order because you just want we're going to retirement goal. Yeah, this is without talking to family about the issues, because there's a lot of things normal people can do without money. Like go for walks. I think there's some part in there. Anyway, so there was a brief little thing I was reading about, like a description of like heaven being the open air. How long would you want to serve on the Enterprise for? I think what was the first Star Trek was 2 years, right? And that's one of the fans who watch it. Did it get canceled because ratings, or if it's modeled after a regular ship rotation and cruise, 2 years. How long do ship captains? It used to be respected, like the in that community. Now, no. It's just too. That's a gift of being a general. Or admiral. I don't know. So the army doesn't want to. Just the army wants to work. It gives itself, I guess. Yeah, And it's the same dudes, people complaining that we don't have wives, they're the same ones that have gone over and over and over. Are there people opposing war because it costs too much money, or because of the death now? Because a lot of people are like, war. Yeah, in fact, it's the wars. I'm not taking any man's wife away from them. Oh, it's so hard to get one. Girlfriend's the same. There are a lot of us who, and they'll tell you, like, oh, it wasn't bad. People are starving here. We're out there having a good time, taking extended lunch periods, hang out. It's just when it comes down to just not having sex, everything else is pretty sweet. I didn't get it at the time. I used to do a partner, and I was coming back from a coffee shop, and there were like people doing the deed on my car's hood. They were doing the deed on my car's hood. And the guy was this girl, and he's like banging her. They were obviously like homeless. I suppose the problem, it's not Chevy's fault. The solution to everything has been to get a job, get a better job, get an education. He is the antithesis of the American dream. Did I use that right? Antithesis? Oh, yeah, anyway, Crosswalk. I picked this book up, and I even saw his name mentioned. Midnight's Children. This dude, I guess it was, I don't know. I don't know. There's these lines we're taking out of a certain holy book and do with like the satanic verses. And what will cause a certain community. Yeah, it wasn't all Muslims. I forget which one issued that. But anyway, there were assassinations on this guy. He had to go into hiding for one morning for some forgotten reason. Sonny and I were the only boys at the stop. Maybe there was a bug going around or something. The monkey waited until Mary Pereira had left us alone in the care of the beefy swimmers. And then suddenly the truth of what she was planning flashed into my head as, for no particular reason, I tuned into her thoughts and I yelled, "Hey!" But too late. The monkey screeched, "You keep out of this!" And then she and the three beefy swimmers had jumped upon Sonny Ibrahim. Street sleepers and beggars and bicycling clerks were watching with open amusement because they were ripping every scrap of clothing off his body. Damn it, man. You're just going to stand and watch Sonny yelling for help? But I was immobilized. How could I take sides between my sister and my best friend? And he, "I'll tell my daddy on you." Tearful now, while the monkey, "That'll teach you to talk shit, and that'll teach you." His shoes off, no shirt anymore, his vest dragged off by a high-board diver. "And that'll teach you to write your sissy love letters. No socks now, and plenty of tears." And there, yelled the monkey. The Walsingham bus arrived, and the assailants. My sister jumped in and sped away. "Tata, tata bata, lover boy," they yelled, and Sonny was left in the street on the pavement opposite Chinmonkers and Reader's Paradise, naked as the day he was born. His four sepals glistening like rock pools because Vaseline had dripped into them from his hair, and his eyes were wet as well. As he, "Why did she do it, man? Why would I only told her I liked?" Love letters. Somebody was asking me about a love letter to her wife or something. I've written poetry, and it usually is a very general, just because of beautiful words. I was single, and there was a process of a divorce, but it was just flirtation. How can you meet somebody if you can't flirt? And what is flirting? I mean, I guess this sounds like it's a first-hand account. Are people allowed to write about their own lives? Oh, I have a dude at work, or when I had a job, he got angry. Well, we had an issue. There was about we shared a vehicle, and so we got a lot of like employee tensions over like who had the keys to the vehicle, somebody took, and so those are the stuff we dealt with. And one day, when our manager, when the managers came to do the, because this is serious stuff. And so he was taking the statements and he's like, I was like here. He's like, just, I was like here. Like everything, like this entirety, because right now, it's one person calling everybody liars that he wasn't there. It's like one dude calling everyone liars. I told, okay, I go through my journals. I have a stolen one. Oh, I have a stolen journal. And in it, I had a date that I'm going to quit smoking. Oh, it was a decade. It's a long time. Because my smoker friend, I felt really bad when with my smoker friend, I didn't drink either. I guess he felt bad because I would be in my room like crying and screaming into a pillow. No, that was me. Sorry. My first like I'm on a date, she uses me to go, from my perspective, to go date another dude. She used me to go date another dude. It's like, so I have this thing going on. And and I now flash forward like 22, 23. My dad thinks I like boys, because I don't have a girlfriend. My brother has a girlfriend. Oh, he smokes pot, smokes cigarettes, drinks alcohol. He's 17 years old. He's banging. Dad's talking to me about how it's okay to like boys. And I'm like, my brother's taller, he's skinnier, he's really sociable, great personality. And I don't hate my brother for that. But like all of a sudden, it's like I'm 22 years old, I'm a virgin. And my family's talking about it. It's like, you don't have to feel bad about liking boys, So, we raised a kid, never have a girl. So, it kept happening, right? It's like, if you have been, no, we're not dating, so not cheating, except girls getting pregnant with other guys and stuff, you're like, because you're a virgin waiting for marriage, and then the girl you're dating starts, oh my goodness. And so sometimes it takes a long time to give up that type of pursuit. It takes a long time to give up those types of things. So around 23, I was screaming. I'd be crying into this pillow in my room. And my friend came out because he's like, here, I have a cocktail. Oh, I cleaned up and but he knew stuff was going on. And I said, here, have a drink. And so I had never drank, and I didn't drink. I don't want to drink alcohol. Those are bad people. And my roommates, give me a cocktail. And then I said, oh my goodness. Dare to keep your kids off of drugs. Dare to keep your kids off. That was a program when I was in public school. Take the Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And nagging. What's worse, nagging or henpecking? But also just, abuse. Henpecking means abuse. This horrible abuse. Go get more money. Honey. Oh, you ran out the credit. Yeah. I can't. And it's like, this is, I'll replace you. You have life insurance. Yeah, I'm afraid I do. And I don't think I'm going to carry that kind of life insurance anymore. We got to talk to insurance policy people. How many COVID deaths had life insurance policies? Well, like I said a little while ago, my stepbrother and sister's dad went there, I don't know, 4 months. Yeah, we actually looked up, it was not Circuit City. I mean, the day it happened, there was a hostage thing going on at an electronics store in Sacramento, and apparently their dad, it's like, because he's a Vietnam veteran, and he was like, that kind of, oh man, I feel that veteran. The hippies, they just won't let it to baby murderers. Baby murderers, baby murderers. I think, but they abort a lot of kids, don't they? Probably because they're not having sex; they're waiting for marriage, like the good faithful this. Mm. I wonder how many priests are now. I don't suspect many priests. But I expect many fellowships are. Oh yeah, yeah. Man, I don't know. When you get a woman who's following some sort of like a healthy and uh, we'll talk about polygamy some other time. Polyamory, excuse me. Polyamory. It's just, honey, just love everybody. I really, I kind of, things are getting better, but the energy of some dudes, it's like, are you gonna kill your wife for me tonight? That kind of stuff, right? Oh, I got returned soldiers, and they know. They found out. They watched the videos. Did you know there's like a fetish for that kind of stuff? It's called Army Wives. It was a Lifetime. I didn't even know the series was out. I can see how that would be for like the kind of MILF type of dudes. Oh my goodness. They told me at Fayetteville. They said when that battalion, that brigade, it's quite a number of people, young men mostly. But when they're in town too long, they can start going happy. Well, it's also one of the things. A lot of the young soldiers, their wives are strippers. It's good money. They're off at war. She's just dancing for the other, the new people. It's, oh my goodness. books around here, but I like because there's just, well, live, take out the V. Robinson Jeffers selected poems. Cassandra, 1948. Maybe this is the poem. Did they confuse me with Robinson Jeffers? Did you write this to some of the Cassandra Fairbanks? The original sin. Oh, that's the next page. Cassandra, the mad girl with the staring eyes and the long white fingers, hooked in the stones of the wall, the storm-rack hair and the screeching mouth. Doesn't matter, Cassandra, whether the people believe your bitter fountain. Truly men hate the truth, they'd lifer. Meet a tiger on the road, therefore the poets honey their truth with lying. But religion? Vendors and political men pour from the barrel new lies on the old, and are praised for kindly wisdom. Poor be word, be wise. Just no. You'll still mumble in a corner a crust of truth to men, and God's disgusting. You and I, Cassandra. God's not God, with like plural, and it is small g. Small g gods. Vintage books. It's originally sold for $1.65 and copyright 1963. This is the new edition. Started copyright 1924 is the first one. Cassandra. Let's see what is happening in Europe 200 to 100 years ago. Well, 210 to 110 years ago. In the summer, no, this is underlined. This was released in where? Europe, 1815 to 1914. Oh. 1965. In the summer of 1859, groups of Nordic German liberals met to form an association working for German unification under Prussian leadership. The outcome was the Nationalverein, National Union, formally organized in September at Frankfurt. The date, it will be noted, coincides with the time when Piedmont, by winning Lombardy from Austria, had initiated the work of unification in Italy. The head of the Nationalverein was a distinguished liberal leader from Hanover, Rudolf von Benigsen. This union was the first political organization in Germany to transcend state borders and to seek to unite all liberals and Democrats in a truly national party. It wished to see Germany become a unified, parliamentary state in which the component elements need not, however, lose their identity. It accepted Prussian leadership as axiomatic, and with some divergences of opinion, it tended to believe in the exclusion of Austria. 10 years as associated businessmen, professional men, intellectuals, and public servants worked steadily for the cause of national unity on a parliamentary basis. The Nationalverein was dissolved in 1868, when much of its work had been done, and when it was increasingly clear that German unity would be completed by a policy of force, and at the point of the Prussian sword. Bismarck's first approach to the German problem. I've been listening to a song, Johnny Horton. He has like oh goodness. He has a song that I was listening to. I guess he had an old TV show. It was they'd sing, it's like Sink the Bismarck. Bismarck's first approach to the German problem. The history of Prussia and of Germany in the second half of the 19th century is inseparably connected with the name of Otto von Bismarck. From 1862, when he became minister-president of Prussia, until 1890, when he resigned as imperial chancellor, he was uninterruptedly at the helm. It is hardly an exaggeration, therefore, to describe him as the outstanding figure in the history of Germany and of Europe in the second half of the 19th century. Of a very moderate fortune, he belonged to the Junker nobility, the conservative, landowning class east of the Elbe River that for centuries has served the king by providing the administration backbone of the Prussian bureaucracy, and the officer class of the Prussian army. Born in the year of Waterloo, Bismarck was anything but a typical junker. His mind was too subtle, his ambition too great, his personality too complex. After some administrative training, many adventures involving wine, women, and song, at the universities of Göttingen and Berlin, he served briefly in the Prussian administration. The explanation which he gave some years later for his early departure from government service is most revealing of him. "The Russian official," he wrote, "is like a member of an orchestra, but I want to play only the music which I myself like, and no music at all." Bismarck had, in addition, 1 year military service, 1838 to 1839, in a fashionable regiment. Some years spent in managing his estate were followed by membership in the Union Diet, which assembled at Berlin in 1847. Here Bismarck revealed himself in strong opposition to liberal views, as he soon showed himself also to be a revolutionary. Revealed himself in a strong opposition to the. Here Bismarck revealed himself in strong opposition to the liberal views, as he soon showed himself also to be the revolutionary movements. 1848. These he regarded as a wave of illegal popular revolts, seeking to destroy the historic rights of the monarchy. When Frederick William IV finally issued a constitution for his people, Bismarck was elected to the new Prussian Landtag, where he quickly aligned himself with the extreme right-wing groups. I guess if you're like Germany, a kid in Germany, you probably know more about Otto von Bismarck. It seems familiar. What does it have to do with today? I don't know. He doesn't refer to the Kaiser. So I have all newspaper. I have like this newspaper from, that time, World War II. I don't know what year it was. Apparently there were riots in New York. There's a report. People were running up and down the street yelling, "The Kaiser is dead. The Kaiser is dead." Remember, these want democracy. You want parliamentary. You want to take away the rights of the monarchy. I'm not trying to take away the rights of the monarchy. I don't even know what the rights of the monarchy are. What are the monarchy? We have a end it there for like dramatic. I'm actually waiting for my poor microphone. This cord isn't. What was I gonna do earlier? I haven't brushed my teeth yet. I haven't changed. I'm just like, I want to go outside. I'm relaxing. I haven't worked in 3.5 years. I have not had a job to go to. 3.5 years. Well, I'm on strike because I thought we would have like family dinner. I thought we'd have like, I was like, going Thanksgiving. We had like a kind of Thanksgiving for me with like 6 people. I wasn't allowed to go to the family reunion in St. George because I made someone uncomfortable. I don't know who it is. Like, like I've only maintained connection with like one, a little bit. We just barely moved around. They left Salt Lake City. The Huffs went to Texas. I don't know what the Tammies went to Washington. Yeah, from I was a little kid in Utah, like 1981, 1983. They just. I remember being at my aunt's place because that was the. Well, then again, I didn't know what poverty was or stressful, like making money and stuff. So, yeah, kids, they just. I remember the tears. I think I had a girlfriend. We'll come back and visit, twice a year. I think we're gonna visit twice a year because it wasn't that far away. It was a 1 day drive. If you take a week, you just you go out and you visit because you just want to see them again. But things happen. Cars break down, car accidents, people go to prison. Just a lot of stuff happened in between there. Yeah, so you start opening those prisons. And I kind of sit in a stoop and okay, I myself fall on the heroic veterans. And, we did so much heroic things, and that same mentality, except the prisoners people go to jail for doing what soldiers do. So that mentality of like, now you got uniform, worship me, then the uniform's off and nobody cares anymore. It's the way it works. Were they fearful of it? Like, what does that uniform mean? So he's seeing guys like me, my associates, just rage. But a lot of us, well, at least we weren't criminals, So we went to prison for like trying to sell some pot. Oh, we made that not legal anymore because we want. See, it's just here we are. Here we are. No money, no problem. Can't afford the product. I'm not. That's where we just kind of sit around and like. So I'm not making fun of people anymore. In that way. I understand that getting addicted to your doctor's pills is not illegal and it's normal. I also got a prescription. Anything else? It's a nice 3 hour stream. I actually I know that there's some people who are aware of me, cuts into their views, and just telling you, when you have made a career, like having a TV show canceled, Bausch, Destiny, who are the other politicals? No, I'm just looking at the two. I don't know Tim Pool. He's always hawking merch. Like somebody comes in, they're gonna get a coffee shop for like-minded individuals. We had a coffee shop for like-minded individuals. Now it plays like techno. No, not even techno. Not tech. It's party all day. Oh. So we want to go back to a quiet cafe where we can read, have conversations. Not have like the baristas with like permanent like stapled on their faces COVID masks. You do not talk. You serpent. Well, the thing is Phil. It's the Phil from Timcast. I'm not familiar with the lore. I didn't like. It wasn't a factor in my life in any way, shape, or form, or most of my existence. But now, when I'm watching it, they can talk about other people. And that's the thing. On a platform that big, and you're talking about other people, oh, hey, cool. Oh yeah, evil, he needs to die, that's right. He slides in all these, like, oh, yeah, there are a lot of evil people. You watch Timcast, and the youth revolution, the skateboarders, the partiers, oh, there are a lot of people. Evil, kill all Democrats. Have you ever heard something like that insinuation type of thing? If you ever listened, you should listen to this dude. You might go in the archives. How many hours? I remember Ethan Klein looks like he's just ready to, like, his head's gonna explode. You know, see, it's not repressing. I encourage free speech. If there are dudes who've incited the masses, or it just starts out with one person, just incite one person, because people get angry. You know, so my brother's dead. Oh yeah, I remember that. I said that. I actually said that. My coworkers, and they found out he was merely, like, crippled on life support with massive brain trauma from after the third car hit him. Oh, did you? Oh yeah, that's right, Yellow Cab. I can go back and get the thing. Yeah, no, my brother told me a story, because he wasn't liked. He was just used. He was not liked. He probably wrote some love letters and did more than that with girls these dudes liked. You know, so it's like you see Adam come in, and Adam's like, oh man, hey look, it's your wife's baby daddy. There he is. So that's the mentality. You know, Adam doesn't know it, because Adam doesn't know why. All he knows is that he was being shouted at by crowds, blocked the sidewalk, wouldn't let him pass, and so he walked into the street. He was in the bike lane because they wouldn't let him. They were just a group, and then he turned around and he sees, oh, that should be Brittany. That's her spiritual name, but she died. On the phone, like her cell phone, talking, and you turn out and there's a Yellow Cab, because, you know, I mean, they just like, would you like to get my cab? Where would you like to go? So anyway, the nice Indian guy, they swerved into the bike lane, boom, flew him over the friggin' hood and everything. Yeah, no, that Yellow Cab purposely hit him.